Hey, what's up? It's Gwen Stefani, and this is the WIRED Autocomplete Interview. I can't believe people are Googling this. This is so funny. What's Gwen Stefani's real name? Gwen Renee Stefani is my name. Not Gwendolyn, not Guinevere, not Guinevere, Gwen. And not Gwen, like how Blake says it, not Gwen. It's Gwen. But you can say Gwen if you want. What are Gwen Stefani's children's names? Kingston James McGregor Rossdale, Zuma Nesta Rock Rossdale, and Apollo Bowie Flynn Rossdale. I know it's a lot of names, but I was just so excited to have kids. I couldn't decide. What was Gwen Stefani's first song? First song I ever personally had any part in writing was a song called Different People. That song ended up on Obama's playlist. Is that weird? I mean, how is that even possible? But it happened. And yeah, that was one of the first things I ever was part of. What was Gwen Stefani's first job? My first job was, I was a swim instructor, lifeguard at a pool. My second job, because everyone thinks it's my first job, but it was actually my second job, was at Dairy Queen. So yeah, I started there and my uniform used to fit like perfectly, and then by the time I ended there, it didn't fit anymore. I literally couldn't even button it up, so had to quit. What movie was Gwen Stefani in? I've been in a few movies, actually. I was in, was it called Zoolander? Yes, I was in that for like 2 seconds. You might see me in that. I was in The Aviator, Martin Scorsese. Yes, that happened. Oh yes, and I did a voice in an animated movie. It was called Trolls, yes. That was awesome. Gwen Stefani, what you waiting for meaning? Well, the story around that song was I was in No Doubt. We'd never taken any kind of breaks. We'd always worked. It was like everybody was exhausted. Adrian had just gotten married, had a baby, and so we were going to take a break. And so what happens here was I was like, I'm going to make a dance record. Like I was just super inspired to go and do that. And I went in the studio to work with some other writers, and Linda Perry from 4 Non Blondes was writing a lot of songs at that time. And so I went in the studio with her, and I was telling her about how I was so like anxious about writing and insecure, and I have writer's block and all these things. And she said, what you waiting for, Gwen Stefani? And then I came in the next day and she had this like crazy song, and that's how that song was born. What is Gwen Stefani's phone number? Please text me, guys. I feel like I don't have any friends. 8675-309. What is Gwen Stefani's style? It's a hot mess. And that's what I like about it, okay? There's no rules, okay? Whatever makes you feel happy, and whatever makes other people feel uncomfortable. Pretty much what I like to do. What songs did Gwen Stefani write? I wrote Hollaback Girl with Pharrell. I wrote Don't Speak with Eric Stefani. I've always been a part of, in writing all the songs that I've ever done. I've done a cover of It's My Life by Talk Talk with No Doubt, and that's actually one of my favorite songs to do live. And I did not write that one. I did this other song called Baby Don't Lie, which I did not write on. It used to be Baby Don't Cry, and I changed it to Baby Don't Lie, but that's not really writing. So yeah, but typically everything else that I've ever sung, for the most part, has been something that I co-wrote with somebody else. How was Gwen Stefani discovered? Jimmy Iovine, actually, from Interscope Records, was the one that kind of discovered me. But I have to kind of give credit to Tony Ferguson, who was an English A&R guy that came over from England that used to work for Stiff Records, which was a record company in England that all the ska bands were part of. So it was really like inspiring that he came over and he saw us at a showcase. But then it even goes back further, because this guy, Darren Murphy, who actually set the showcase up. So I would say that ultimately Jimmy Iovine was the one that said, in 6 years from now, you will be a star. And I was like, who are you? And I'm going to have like 10 kids by the time 6 years rolls around, so I don't know what you're talking about. And then 6 years on the dot, Don't Speak was #1 around the world. So what's up, Jimmy? How to Gwen Stefani ponytail? How to do one? It's actually really complicated. That would be something that you would have to ask my hairdresser. I could do it. I actually did one for myself the other day. I think the special thing about my ponytails, because there's lots of different versions, is it's just something that like I've always done, and I think that people kind of like recognize it from maybe the Just a Girl video, which, by the way, I did my own hair and makeup and styling and everything. You know, for me, it was all about just being on stage and feeling comfortable and being able to perform. So that's where the ponytail was born. How is Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton doing? How are we doing? We're doing good. We're so lucky. And I love Blake Shelton. How long was Gwen Stefani on The Voice? I'm on it still, guys. I get to be back. 4th time on season 17. Does Gwen Stefani have a twin sister? What? No, I don't. I have a sister, though. I actually wrote a song called Sister, about my sister. Nobody's heard that song. It's a really good song. My sister's name is Jill Stefani. Okay. She's a teacher, and she's really smart. She went to UCLA and Berkeley, so whatever. Does Gwen Stefani play any instruments? Okay, this is the deal. So many regrets about this. I took flute lessons when I was in 8th grade, and I really had a hard time like learning the flute. So I went on to get into marching band, and I pretended to play the piccolo for a while. And I really wanted to play really desperately, but for some reason it was just I could never really get my head wrapped around it. Then I never really played any instruments until I kind of learned how to play guitar enough to write a song, and I wrote a song called Simple Kind of Life on the guitar, and it's the only song I've ever written completely on my own. And yeah, and then I got long nails, so I really wish I played an instrument. If you are thinking about playing an instrument, don't give up. And you know what, Gwen Stefani, it's not too late. You could actually learn to play the guitar. Does Gwen Stefani have tattoos? Absolutely not. No, not for me. Does Gwen Stefani speak Spanish? Dame un beso? That's it. That's all I know. Give me a kiss. But again, one of those things that I regret in my life is not learning another language. But I really did have a hard time learning English. So, does Gwen Stefani have a Grammy? Yes, I do. I have 3 Grammys. And I had them for a long time, and I had them just in the closet at the house. And just like about a year ago, I took all of my awards out and I like put them in my office, and like it was just one of those things where I was like, why are these in here? I should just be inspired by these. And it's fun because then the kids come by and they're like, Mommy, what is this? Why did you have this? And it's pretty exciting to be actually recognized for something and get an award, and I'm grateful. Is Gwen Stefani really American? Armenian. Sorry, I'm reading like upside down. I hate answering this question because I feel like it lets so many people down. I'm an American Italian, Irish. I'm not Armenian. And I do not know at what point that rumor got started, but I did live in Los Feliz, which is right by Glendale, which is a huge Armenian neighborhood in Los Angeles, and people would come up to me like crying and hugging me, just because they thought I was Armenian. And I think it must be something about the eyes, like the dark eyes. And anyways, I love your culture. And hi. Is Gwen Stefani Madonna's cousin? I wish. No. This is how that rumor got started. So my aunt Donna DePaula, she married a Ciccone, which is not really, Uncle Sam was not related to Madonna, but just happens to have the same name. So yes. So Madonna is Italian, I'm Italian. So what's that? Is Gwen Stefani related to Lady Gaga? No, but just in the airport the other day, someone was going, rah, rah, I was like, they thought I was Lady Gaga. Is Gwen Stefani pink? What? That is so funny. I'm not pink, but I love pink. Is Gwen Stefani alive? Thank God, yes, I am. I'm so grateful to be alive. And thank you for all your Googles. It's always nice to be thought about. So thank you so much.